As you may have already heard, there are rumors going around about a reprint of the set 151. If this is true, this could have a huge impact on the market price of sealed product and singles. 151 has been arguably one of the best sets we have gotten in the Scarlet and Violet era, and it's only been 10 months since its release in September of 2023. This would be huge news if true, as 151 and Paldea Evolved have become increasingly hard to obtain for sets that are not even a year old. Today we'll be taking a look at the market prices of the various sealed product and singles that 151 has to offer, along with the huge investment opportunities that a reprint could provide. Let's get into it. While we still do not have confirmation that an official reprint is actually happening, given the popularity of Scarlet and Violet 151, it is highly probable that Pokemon will do so. Now, speculation aside, there are other sets that are also highly popular that have not gotten a reprint, such as Paldea Evolved, given that this set has some of the most valuable and highly sought after cards in the Scarlet and Violet era. Because of this, it stands to reason that Pokemon will begin reprinting its more sought after sets, and hopefully we'll begin seeing these reprints in the next 6 months. While we don't know the extent and volume of a reprint if it were to occur, regardless, we can expect some kind of a market decrease if it does occur. This would present a spectacular investment opportunity, as 151 has become very, very expensive, and if such a reprint were to occur, we would see some market lows we probably haven't seen in the past 6 months. 151's popularity as a set is not going anywhere anytime soon either, as this set brought many collectors, including myself, back into the Pokemon collecting hobby, and the original 151 Pokemon are popular across every generation of Pokemon collectors. Every indication points towards 151 being one of the strongest sets we've received so far, so a reprint would only benefit us by giving us an additional opportunity to invest in the set. So let's go ahead and take a look at the various products and singles that 151 has to offer and begin to speculate where we may see their market prices go if a reprint occurs. By the way, if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest Pokemon news and investing information, be sure to subscribe, which will also allow you to participate in future and current giveaways on this channel. Now, the first product line I would like to talk about are the 151 booster bundles. These are an especially important topic as far as a reprint is concerned, given that these were the products that were hardest to get when the set initially released. Now, if we were to see a reprint of 151, we would reasonably expect that the booster bundles and the elite trainer boxes would be the top things to get reprinted. This is because the UPCs, while popular, are likely not going to sell as much in the future if they were to reprint it, as many people who wanted the ultra premium collections probably already got it. The 151 booster bundles are probably the best way to collect sealed product, as they give you the best price per pack ratio, along with not having any other fluff in the packaging, like coins, sleeves, that kind of stuff, which just takes up space and makes it harder to store. These booster bundles are nice because they give you 6 packs, you know it's in them, and it's pretty straightforward and easy to store. Now, if we just look at the last 3 months of the booster bundle pricing, you'll see that it's already jumped up pretty significantly in that short period of time. Looking at the chart here, you'll see that it started at a low of around $35.90, and right now it is currently sitting all the way up at $49.44. For perspective, the MSRP on these booster bundles is around $27. That's the price that you could purchase it from Pokémon Center, and even like local Walmarts will sell it for about $30 when they have it in stock. This is a pretty significant jump in price. $50 for a booster bundle is a little bit ridiculous, especially for a set that is only 10 months old. Hopefully we'll see this come down quite a bit, and obviously being able to purchase it at MSRP while the booster bundles are more readily available. Now, while we're talking about investing in booster bundles, another great opportunity are booster bundle sealed cases. These come with 10 booster bundles and are just a nice compact way to store these if you really want to invest in these in a bulk fashion. Looking at the market price in just the last 3 months, you'll see that it had a low of around $385, and just in the last 3 months it has already shot up to $480, a little bit lower than its high of $482. It's only gone down a couple bucks. But just looking at the last 6 months as well, you'll see that it had a low of $352, so 35 times 10. So you're paying $35 a booster bundle, and now you're sitting at $379.85. So paying that around $48 a booster bundle. As far as booster bundles by themselves are concerned, if you're able to get them at your local Walmart or other local store, you may be able to get them for MSRP. But as far as investing in the cases are going, I'm not saying you're going to be able to get these for $300 when the reprint occurs. I'm just saying that you will most likely see a pretty significant drop from this $480 figure, which would present another great investing opportunity in these booster bundles. Now, another great product to mention are the elite trainer boxes, which is another thing that will likely be reprinted if we do see the reprint. This is kind of crazy to see how expensive they've gotten in just the last 10 months. Looking at just the last 3 months, you'll see that it is currently sitting at $65.01, which is a little bit lower than its recent high, which is $69.50. So about $70 for the elite trainer box, which only comes with 9 151 booster packs. So that's just a crazy price to pack ratio. This ETB comes with the Snorlax promo, and this is not even the Pokemon Center exclusive edition of the Elite Trainer box, which we'll get to in a minute. But looking at the last 3 months again, you'll see that in the last 3 months it was a $57 ETB, and kind of scaling it back to the last 6 months, you'll see that it's had a low of $51.87, and now it's still sitting at $65. So these elite trainer boxes are really starting to shoot up. You can see that they kind of dropped down very recently. Maybe the speculation of a reprint has started to impact the market price a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. But these elite trainer boxes are supposed to retail at around $50, and $65 is kind of just insane for only 9 packs. So hopefully this reprint occurs so that we can see this market price jump down a little bit. As far as elite trainer boxes go though, I personally think that investing in the Pokemon Center exclusive editions are going to be a much wiser choice. We'll go ahead and take a look at that now. So this is where it gets sort of expensive. If you look at just the last 3 months, you will see that the 151 Elite Trainer box is currently sitting at $130. Now, back when 151 first released, you could purchase these exclusive Elite Trainer boxes off of the Pokemon Center website for $60, and now they're sitting at $130. The only difference is that they come with a couple more packs, and they also come with the Pokemon Center stamped Snorlax promo card. If we look at the last 6 months of the ETB, you'll see that it's had a low of around $91.56. So it was only at this point around $30 more than its MSRP on Pokemon Center, and now it is all the way up to $130, seeing some huge gains. Now, there's no guarantee that Pokemon Center will restock their Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, but if they do, I think that they are a great opportunity to invest in, and I will personally be picking up a couple myself if they choose to reprint these. In general, the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes are pretty much always a good investment, regardless of how high they go. They do tend to go up over time versus the normal Elite Trainer boxes, which are kind of hit or miss. Silver Tempest Elite Trainer boxes, for example, are still very, very cheap, and there's really no clear indication on how long it will take normal ETBs to rise in price. So as far as sealed product goes, I believe that the booster bundles, the booster bundle cases, the ETBs, and the Pokemon Center ETBs are going to be the best sealed investments, assuming all of these products are reprinted. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the most expensive singles in 151 and take a look at their market price. Now for the Charizard Special Illustration Rare from 151, I want to point out that even though the market price has kind of jumped up since the release of the set, it has pretty much stayed steady. If you look at the average across time, it's pretty much been a $100, $115 card pretty much since the release of 151, and a reprint could potentially bring it down to under $100. This has happened once or twice in the past, but being able to see this card under $100 might be able to make it a good steal and a good investment opportunity as far as singles go. If we look at the last 6 months, you will see that the card at its low was around $102. It had a big spike about a month ago up to around $125, and now it's currently sitting back down to $108. And just to kind of show what I was talking about before, if you look at the last year, you'll see that it's kind of had some huge jumps and drops. You'll see that it actually went up to about $135. It had that low of $102 that I was talking about before, but overall it has stayed kind of within that $100 to $115 mark, with the exception of a couple outliers, but overall it is kind of staying within that range. Now 151 reprint would be huge because it would probably drop this card's price even more, where it's already kind of sitting on the lower end at $102. If we could see this card come down to under $100, this would be a big investment opportunity since this is one of the most popular Scarlet and Violet singles. While I've kind of talked about before how I think the Venusaur Special Illustration Rare is a little bit better in my opinion, this is still an absolutely wonderful card that a lot of people chase, so having this as a nice investment for your collection is never a bad idea. Now the next card that I like to talk about is the Venusaur Special Illustration Rare, which again, like I've said before, is my favorite Special Illustration Rare in the entire set of 151. I think the colors really pop, and I think that as people start to look back on the set, we'll realize that this is really one of the best Special Illustration Rares we've gotten in the Scarlet and Violet era so far. But just looking at the last 6 months, you'll see that it actually has jumped up a little bit recently. It's had a low of around $35.76, and now it's been sitting around that $38, $39, $40 mark in the last 3 months, with a current high of $40, with it currently sitting at $39.74. Now in the last 6 months, you'll see that it's had a low of $35.74, kind of like we saw in the last 3 months, but way back when it had a jump all the way up to $42. So really, this card is really only kind of sat at around $35, $40 card. A reprint could potentially get this down to a below $35 card. It's really going to depend on how big of a reprint we get, along with how many of these cards are pulled and immediately thrown onto TCG Player or other card selling platforms and kind of flood the market with these Special Illustration Rares. Now, I think a lot of people believe that these Special Illustration Rares are going to jump drastically when a reprint occurs. In my opinion, that's not going to be the case unless 151 is extremely reprinted. In my opinion, we're only going to see a 10 to 15% market price across the board for some of these Special Illustration Rares, given they're still highly sought after. But for a scenario like this, only time will tell. So if a reprint does occur, we will go ahead and take a look back at the market price and do a check-in. Now, the last big Special Illustration Rare I like to talk about is the Blastoise Special Illustration Rare, where if you look at the market price, you will see that it's currently sitting at $47.61. I've kind of had my piece here before talking about how I don't understand how this card is more expensive than the Venusaur. It's currently $47.61. It's had a low of close to around $40, $41, and actually had a little jump recently to about $53, which is kind of crazy. The Venusaur has never gotten that high. But again, same to the Charizard. This card, you would have to pull 2 or 3 of these to have anywhere close to the market price of the 151 Charizard. Now, it's kind of surprising that this card is starting to take off recently, especially with the rumors looming about the 151 reprint. But if we do get that reprint, we will likely see a good drop of this card. My guess is probably it'll go back down to around a $40 card. I really don't see some of these cards going down to $20, $25, dollars that people are kind of expecting from a reprint. Even though it may increase the population of these cards and they may be more readily available, these cards are still highly sought after and very, very popular across the Scarlet and Violet era. So I can't imagine these cards would be $20, $25. That would be comparable to the Iron Boulder special illustration from Temporal Forces or the Sinistra from Twilight Masquerade. I really just do not see these cards getting that cheap. So I really think that a 151 reprint will impact the price, and we'll see, like I said, a 10 to 15% market reduction, but I do not see them getting dirt cheap so people can just pick them up willy-nilly. As far as a reprint concerned, we're really only going to know how drastically we're going to see a market reduction based on how big of a reprint that we get. I think we can all expect some kind of a market reduction. We can all kind of plan for it. So if you're looking to invest in some 151 sealed product and singles, this will be a good opportunity and you will see a drop in price. But in my personal opinion, I don't think we're going to be seeing the biggest market price reductions that we've ever seen for 151. I still think that the 151 SIRs are going to be pretty valuable, but that's just my personal take on this situation. But if you're like me and you're looking to invest in some sealed product, I will be personally waiting for 151 reprint because I do think it'll be a good investment opportunity, especially the 151 booster bundles. I personally have a couple of those along with the 151 Japanese booster boxes, which I also think are great investment opportunities since those are currently sitting at $50 to $60. And the last time that people thought that they were not going to get a reprint of that set, the boxes were sitting at nearly $200. All right, everybody, so let me know your thoughts on a potential 151 reprint. Is this a set that you'll be continuing to hold some money aside to invest in, or are you going to be putting your money elsewhere in some other upcoming Pokemon sets? Also, let me know down in the comments whether you like to collect sealed product versus just Pokemon singles. I'll be curious to see what kinds of Pokemon collections you guys have. All right, everybody, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.